All right, I'm going to show you how to go through the process to start laying out and then drawing the 3 views of the automobile you picked. This one I'm simply using the school bus. Remember, you had multiple options to pick from. First thing we need to do is we need to find out what is our length of the school bus so that we can block it in. To do that, I'm going to use my divider tool because that's the easiest way to be able to transfer a measurement. Make sure it's nice and lined up. So that is my size of it. And I'm going to put it on that center line. I'm going to use my divider and I'm going to poke it in so that I can mark it. Go ahead and get my yellow marker just so it's a little easier for y'all to see, because I know sometimes it's kind of hard to see when I draw it with pencil. Draw it up. And our goal is to try to keep it as centered as best as we can on those center marks that we're given. All right, so now we have our width. We need to get our height. Now, here's the most common mistake students made. They measure just the size of the bus. They forget to take into consideration the size of the wheels, because you have to go to the bottom of the wheels. So we need it from the top of the bus to the bottom of the wheel. That gives us the height for this. And again, I'm trying to get it centered as much as I possibly can on that view. Remember, none of this is drawn dark. This is all drawn very lightly right now. Once I know I've got everything, then I go back and make it nice and dark using all my drafting tools. Okay. Now, because we transferred that width up, all we need to now find where's the top view that I'm going to go. I repeat that same process. What's my width? Again, I'm trying to get it centered as much as I possibly can on that line. Poke my little hole so it marks it. Does it come down more? So what I've done, I have now blocked in my 3 views. I have blocked in the front, and it's the front view because it has the most information. That's always going to be your front view. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the front because that's the front of the car. No, it's the view that has the most information is your front. My top, my right side. Now, next, we're going to repeat that process of using our divider to find measurements and to go through and drawing. And I'm not going to draw all of it. I'm just going to show you how to get started. So I'm going to start out with my front view here. And I'm going to say, okay, well, let's go ahead and measure this. So I know my hood should come from here to here. Using my divider. Find that corner here. Mark it. Really bring that down. So I've got that part. Now I need to go, okay, how far does it go down? From here to here. See, I'm measuring with my divider. Oh, it would help if I'd measure this part first, sorry. So I measure this part here. Mark it. So I know it's going to come over like that. How far down does it go? Okay, so there's my basic rough in for that. Now I need to get my tires. So let's go figure out where the tires are at. So again, I'm going to look for that center mark. I'm trying to get as close to the center and from the edge to the center as I can possibly get with my dividers. That's what I'm trying to get. So that should be center mark for that first tire. Repeat the process from the back to the center of this piece. Hello. I love it when it gets away from me. See how I'm measuring that piece from center to edge. at which point in time I then take my compass so that I can draw it. Or if you've got the smaller circle template, you can use it. Again, I'm not drawing it perfect. I just want to draw it in because I'm trying to figure out where it goes. And you can also sometimes use that divider, your compass, because I got the outside wheel. Now I want to get to the wheel well. So I'm using it to measure from the center up to the top where I know the wheel well is. There's my wheel well. There's the wheel well. So I have my front part of the bus here, comes down to here, comes over to here, comes to that wheel well, comes back to here, and I continue that process. Now I would need to find some of my my measurements, let's say the windows. So I'm going to make it a little easier on myself. Number one, I know all the windows stop and end from this distance here, so I'm going to mark that. Now I'm actually going to mark it at 2 spots. And again, remember, use your drafting tools. That's what they're there for. Don't draw it darkly, draw it lightly, because we're still blocking it in. Get my distance here. From that, there. Well, that's interesting. It's right on that spot there. There we go. Here's the bus driver's window. I look at it and I measure it and I can see that it looks like it's right about at a 1/16 inch part down. And then that. So again, I use my measurements and I transfer them and I look and I know it does something like that. To here. So there's the first window, right? Now we need to move over and get a distance for the doors. And we just keep going. So there's the opening for the doors. We still need the center line going down it and the opening for the windows. Same thing for all these. I need to make these windows, so I need to go through and measure them out. I need to go through. How far away is it from it? See how I'm marking it? Just barely poking a hole so you can see it. If you use your dividers and you poke in, makes your life a little easier. And we just keep going. We keep going through and drawing them in. Okay? Now I'm not going to draw all of them. I'm going to save a little time. So you'll see what it looks like at the end. Okay, top view. What do we see when we look down on it? We should only see this part of the line here, and then we should see the part for the little scoop for the little part for the engine here. So I project my line up, and that should give me that first line here without having to measure anything. And now I need to get this part here. Well, I look at it and I know that it's obviously centered. It obviously runs down the center of it. So I'm going to find my center point first. So that center line comes over. And then I'm going to find my distance for it. Where are you? Off that center. Now, technically, do we also draw the headlines? Well, yeah, because we do have our wheel well openings, and there's a lot of other things. So we could say, okay, well, let's project up our wheel wells. I've just rough sketched it in. Same thing with our back view here. We know that we're going to have the 3 windows and the lights, etc. If I continue bringing that over, because I know they're going to end there, I'll look at them and go, well, how much does it come in? Just that little bit. And then I should have 3 windows. It should fit perfectly in there. Poke, 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 twist it, poke. So we're just going to keep going through that. Bring it over. Look at my tires. I know in theory I should have probably roughly about right there. So we should be able to see our tires like that. We should have our outline of the body like that. Have our headlines for those little wheel rails that are in there, but they don't go all the way. And we go through and draw it. All right, now I'm simply going to pause it and then show you the next step.